for you.
I mean, this is a difficult one, isn't it? I mean, you've clearly cracked it in some sense that you've got these multiple incomes that can add up to a living. But it's so difficult to get people to. It doesn't matter whether you're a genius at songwriting or it doesn't really matter if people can't find you.
Well, this is it. And then a lot of people will spend a lot of money on producing an album and not have anything in the kitty for promoting it. And actually, you won't just have people trip over you. You've
true.
got to actually be out there so that people can find you.
That's right.
Actually, I've been doing a sort of experiment in the past few weeks. I've been contact music promotion agencies, and especially around a single that I've just released. And one of them wanted to charge me £1,500 a month for 5 months. Another one wanted to charge me $2,500 for Spotify promotion, $2,500 for radio promotion, and $2,500 for press promotion. And that was without VAT. So add another 20% onto that, because there's already, pardon my bad Maz, $7,500 there, and then add on another $1,500 for the tax. I mean, it's just,
ludicrous.
This can't be done. So you have to be able to think of a strategy that you can get people to listen to you, which isn't going to bleed you dry. If you had a label, labels can pay for PR. But if you're not signed to a label, you could actually get yourself into real financial trouble.
Yeah.
So, you can also get yourself into trouble by spending 30 quid here and 30 quid there on Facebook ads if you don't properly research how to do that and how to go about that. Something that I do with Facebook advertising is there's a great website. If you type in trends.google.com,
right,
and then you put in, say, 5 artists who you think you sound a bit like, it'll tell you where in the world those artists are popular. You then go into Facebook for Business, into their audience insights, and you type in those geographical regions, and then you type in the name of the artist. So say I thought I sounded a bit like Carrie Underwood. If I put in the countries that have come up through Google Trends and then Carrie Underwood, it'll give me a list of things that people who like Carrie Underwood also like what clothes shops they've been liking on Facebook, what radio stations. And then when you go to launch your own ads on Facebook and Instagram, you use that information because you've got a very detailed picture of the audience that might like you, but you don't just go on and click boost post and don't specify an audience, and because it'll end up in front of people who are you're just not going to be their thing. They're not interested. So have you
done some Facebook advertising yourself?
Yeah, so I'm in the middle of running a Facebook campaign at the moment, because to me, PR companies and it's great if you can get someone that can help you get, say, national airplay and national press coverage. That's wonderful. But people are especially during the COVID crisis, they're on their phones all day. We're constantly in front of screens. So now has been the time to kind of maximize the social.
So what is it you're advertising at the moment? Well,
at the moment, you're just allowing me a little plug here, which I'm grateful for. At the moment, I'm advertising a song called I Walk Through Fire. Yeah. And that is available on Spotify. So what I've done is I've done a shortened version of it, like the key moment of the chorus, because a Facebook video really should be about 15 seconds long.
Right.
So I've done that. I've told people it's available on Spotify. There's a link to where you can play it on Spotify. But the big question is, if you go onto your social media feed and there's people asking you to play a video, read an article, listen to a song, listen to a podcast, big long row of people asking you to do stuff. Well, why, out of all the things that appear in front of them as they scroll down, should they play your song? And you actually have to give them a reason to do that in the text. And you don't want to write so much that they're not going to read it. So like one sentence, why should you play this song? So it's like a good thing to do if you happen to have a press quote from somebody cool, or to put that in with your ad. My tagline at the moment is a powerful story from a powerful voice, because I had the issues with my health and I lost my mobility and ended up working in music, which was like I completely stopped working, and then I ended up living the dream. And I was hoping that might be inspiring for someone who is in the situation that I was once in, where they think that I'm going to have to leave work. I'm not sure what's going to happen in the future. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do the things that I want to do. So that was, I kind of wanted to write something that was positive for those people. So I've defined in my tagline that that's the message.
Mm-hmm.
And then I include that message in my ads.
And
but,
what is the? I mean, I hope you don't mind me asking these things. What is the kind of outcome that you want from these adverts?
Basically, I want people to hear my music who haven't heard it before.
Right.
You know, who might, and I want it to be the right people. You know, people who realistically might like it. You know, if there's someone who's really into thrash metal, it's not going to be their thing.
Yeah.
So, that's at the moment. I want you people to hear this song. I've had a good response in that people have been liking my Facebook page, which means they're kind of joining my journey,
right.
and that they'll get my updates.
So is it a case of trying to build up your what's the word? You know, your kind of Facebook audience or likes?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Basically, just building up my Facebook audience. Also, you know, building up my streams in Spotify so that I can be paid 0.0002 cents per stream.
Right.
So it's not definitely not for the money, but just because you know,
yeah.
love the song.
No, it's funny because one of my friends, he's quite good at the old marketing, and whenever he puts out a record or a single or something, he always sends a message around to his friends to put it onto their playlist on Spotify. Apparently, that's something you should do.
Yes,
and it helps if your song's on lots of people's playlists. I don't know how it works, but that's what he sends me anyway. He tells me to do that.
The editors at Spotify, if they can see that people have pre-saved your track before it comes out, they're excited about it before it comes out. That does look good to them. There's already an interest in this track.
Right, okay.
And the worst thing that you can do is like put a track onto Spotify, and you know, you when you upload something using a service like, say, CD Baby or TuneCore, you can specify the date that it comes out. You don't want to go and upload it and decide that it's going to come out the next week, because actually it takes the Spotify editors a long time to go through the submissions they get. So the sort of rule of thumb is you should actually set a date that's about 6 weeks in the future. Then you've got time to get people to pre-save it, and you've got time to sort of pick it up. But you don't just stick something out and then when it comes out, share the link all over the place. There has to actually be some work done beforehand, because as I say, you know, people can spend a lot of money on production and get tracks that are actually really quite good, but then market them in such a way that nobody actually hears.
That's right. I mean, I think the thing is, well, it's in my head that it's a full-time job.
It is a full-time job.
You know, promoting yourself and your music.
It's like all the things you have to be. It's like a songwriter, a singer, a producer, a graphic designer, a marketer. And actually, at some point, you've got to realistically say, no one could do all those things, and like try and farm some of it out.
Yeah.
And focus on the bits that are more your area.
Yeah.
So obviously the first thing you've got to think about is the actual song, because there's no point. You can go out there and pay a lot of money and put a lot of effort into promoting something that's not that great, but you know, the core of your attention needs to be going into the actual craft.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's where my attention goes.